BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we'll be answering about that team on our August 16th preseason football preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom. And tonight, Dan, we're talking about one of the burgeoning programs in the area, one that took the area by storm last year with a remarkable turnaround, the Comanche Indians.
Yeah, I mean, this is other than maybe Albany and Holly, which are both coming off state championship seasons, this may be the team with the toughest act to follow in all of the big country. Just on by virtue of the fact that they followed up a 1-9 season by going 10-2 last year, beating Albany and putting just a remarkable football team on the field. So that makes, I think, them one of the more intriguing teams of the entire area, and really makes the job that Coach Jake Escobar has done look, I mean, just extraordinary.
All year last year, by mid season last year, I was saying Jake Escobar he's my coach of the year. Jake is my coach of the year, my coach of the year, my coach of the year. And then we won 2 state championships in the big country. So It was like, well, we can't overlook these guys winning the state championships. But Jake was my coach of the year all year long before Albany and Holly took those state titles. But what a remarkable job. Remarkable job that he has done.
And he's got a good group back this year, 16 of 25 lettermen back, 7 starters on both sides of the ball. So Comanche is going to be a really fun story to follow again this year. We'll talk a little bit about some of the questions they face here in a few minutes, but this should be another good Comanche team.
All right, before we jump into tonight's look at the Comanche Indians, let me remind you YouTubers to please hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, and then after that, hit the little bell that pops up so you'll get notifications from YouTube anytime that we come up with a new podcast here at Big Country Preps. That'll make it it'll make a very good way for you to follow along with the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, which will be taking a look at another area team, one per day, all the way up to the outset of two-a-day workouts, which break out on July 31st. But we'll be counting it down one day at a time, all the way up to two-a-days. July 31st, it all begins. Can't believe it.
No, for sure. Let's jump in. Let's talk about Comanche and talk about some of the questions that we have for them. And for me, one of the big questions is how do they follow up that year they had last year? What kind of impact does that type of success have on this group that's returning? Like I said, they got 16 lettermen back from that team, 7 starters both sides of the ball, including running back in Sawyer Wilkerson, who rushed for 2,600 yards and 29 touchdowns. Had one of the best running back seasons we've seen in recent memory. Just how does that 10-2 season and just experiencing that success kind of change the expectations for this group, kind of, and and from a confidence standpoint, what impact does that have? You got to think that this team's coming in this year feeling really good about themselves and thinking they have a chance to really make a strong run. So I'm interested to see just kind of how that plays out.
The one thing I'm going to be looking at with this team is just the performance of the offensive line. If they get a decent push up front, because there's going to be some, they lost some people up front. So if they can retool the offensive line and perform pretty well up there and get a decent push for Wilkerson, who is going to get his yards. If you give him a crease, he's tough to bring down. And protect Welch, who can deliver the football. They play reasonably well up front with this retooled offensive line. They're going to be good again. They're going to be good again.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. I think that is the one question they have is the linemen up front, but the skill position guys are exciting. You mentioned Welch at quarterback, threw for over 1,700 yards and 22 touchdowns last year. Wilkerson had the year he had. And they do bring back one key receiver in Kyler Beatty, who had 540 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. But the last question that I have here is, who are going to emerge as some of those receiving weapons around Beatty? I think they do, if they want to, kind of repeat the success they had last year in the passing game and maintain that balance that made them so hard to stop offensively. They are going to need a few other receivers to emerge around Beatty. And I'm just interested to see kind of who those kids will be. I think that they've got some kids, obviously, that are candidates to do that. But the fun thing to me about high school football is seeing the new group and seeing new kids seize opportunities. And I think that'll be something that's going to be interesting to watch with Comanche this year.
And with that, let's take a quick look at Comanche's schedule for 2023. A road date at Brady opens things up on August 25th. A home date with Bangs will follow on September 1st. A road date at Early will be on September 8th. And then back-to-back tough home dates with Toller and Albany on the 15th of September and the 22nd. Those are 2 big games, Dan. And then an open date before jumping into district.
Yeah, those are 2 huge home games. That stadium will be rocking for those. That should be really fun. They open district at Millsap on October 6th before hosting Jacksboro on the 13th. Then they travel to Dublin the following week before hosting Merkel on the 27th. And then they wrap up district play at Eastland on November 3rd. Yeah, looking at the schedule, to me, the game of the year on that district slate looks like that home game against Jacksboro on the 13th of October. I think that was a good one last year. It was a very high scoring affair. Comanche kind of just outscored them, but that looks like one that could be fun this year and could determine the district championship.
Right, and with that, it's about time to wrap up tonight's edition of the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, the Comanche Indians. But before we do that, we want to remind you that on August 16th, that's the big day here at Big Country Preps. That's the day that we release our August 16th preseason football preview here on the website. It'll have more than 40 team previews for our 11-man teams. It'll have a 6-man preview as well. It'll have more than 40 player features. We'll have opinion pieces. We'll have predictions. We'll have video. We'll have stats. It's the most comprehensive amount of material for Big Country football of any media source in the state of Texas. Nobody's going to top it.
In the meantime, as you wait for that, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Days series. And make sure you come back tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Dublin Lions here at BigCountryPreps.com.